Being recorded.
Hello, so, I wanted to jump on here real quick and talk about this video that I just found that had my blood boiling. Okay, because I didn't really want to get into this, this whole Todd and Kandi situation. Okay, but this woman's take on it had my blood boiling. Okay, she had my blood absolutely boiling because she is being such a pick me. Okay, she's being such a pick me. She is doing the whole man is a man has a man is important simply because he exists nonsense as as opposed to we have a biological mandate. We're not here for anything, right? We have biological mandates, and that is what feeds the things that are supposed to occur in our lives. And they've done this thing where because the men they have no biological mandate that is relevant to the actual human purpose, right? They've done this thing where the biological mandate now is basically what theirs is, and we are forgetting our own biological mandate. Okay, and what is our biological mandate versus theirs? Ours is to get, to find consumption, find water, find air, and procreate, right? And then what is a male's? A male's is to find a host and procreate. Now, having brainwashed us to do only theirs, right? To do only theirs. Yeah? So now it is that you would not have to have an attachment to a male. You now have to have, it is now, they have made it seem as though your biological mandate is to have an attachment to a male, and therefore you need him, right? And therefore you need him. And therefore he doesn't even have to do anything for you besides just be there because you need him, which is not true. That is his biology. That is his biology. So let's figure out what about what she said is that my blood boiling.
Vengeance is mine. I'ma tell you.
Get the best holiday deals at Verizon. Now you can get iPhone 17 with
if a divorce is couples too much because I don't know. I guess being a married person myself, one thing I do know if a divorce is
That's your clue right there. She's married. She's married. Therefore, you know that she gets influenced by a male. She gets influenced by the male's assertion that his existence to her is important. The man in her life makes assertions on a daily basis that he is a necessary part of her existence when he is not. He is ancillary to her biological mandate at best. If you took a man's sperm and you had a kid, you will live a very perfectly complete life without a man. But the male in her life had to brainwash her that he is needed on a daily basis. And he had to brainwash her about that so that he could get his daily need of her, the sex. The sex. That is the parasitic attachment. So now she looks at a male as though you need a male there. Even if he doesn't do anything for you, his presence is doing something. His presence is a necessary thing. Because if he's not necessary to you, why ever would you spend any cost on him? Why ever would you spend any cost on something that provides you with no value? Why don't you go get a tree? If the tree is if you need the tree, if you need something that doesn't provide you with any value, why don't you go get a stick and meet with that one? Why don't you go and get a stick and be friends with a stick and have a relationship with a stick? because that is what they're suggesting that these males are doing. That is what they're suggesting that the purpose of the males are. She is together with a male because the male needs her and has convinced her that she needs him. What she has is a stick in her life. That's what she has, a stick in her life. Because she did not need a male for anything except for that reproduction. Because I know that she thinks loves him and loves her and is giving her all this love and care. No, she's providing him something that he cannot get anywhere else. But what she's getting from him, she can get anywhere else. What she has is a stick. If you got a stick and you put it in your living room, you would be much better off than with the male. But the male has to convince her every day that he is a necessary part of her life. And that is the point of view that she is coming from.
Is happening, it's never one person's fault. It just never is one person's fault. So I'm sure there is enough blame to go around of what people could have done differently. And from all the stories, we know there's a lot that Kandi could have done differently, a lot that Todd could have done differently. So I'm not going to blame who for the demise of the relationship because I'm not in the relationship. I don't know everything about the relationship, but I will tell you this. And now that we are at this point where there is a divorce, and I know they had this prenup, I'm going to tell you right now, Kandi will settle. She's going to have to settle. I know a lot of people who out here are rooting for her for the prenup to get affirmed and held up by the judge. And I'm not even saying that the prenup is not going to get held up, but she's going to settle. Kandi going to pay some money. First of all, the prenup, let me say this. I already knew Kandi's case.
This bra is for seniors who want to get back their youth. Lift breasts right after first wear.
Of trying to have Todd walk away from this marriage of, I don't know, 10 years with nothing was ridiculous and absurd, okay? And I don't even have all the information, all the facts.
First of all, of course you don't have all the information of all the information, all the facts, okay? She never said that. The prenup that she set up was based on her assets at the time of the marriage. She said many times, every single time that it was brought up, that whatever they build together, he was going to get his fair portion of that. And she said that many times, and I barely even watched the show. And I know that. How come you don't know that? But you have enough lips to be making a commentary on this. How come you don't know that? She never said that she wanted him to walk away from the marriage. She wanted him to walk away with what they built together.
But the fact that Todd has been able to hire this other lawyer, Randy Kessler, confirmed it that Todd has a good case. Because from what I hear, this Randy Kessler fella is a pretty well-known divorce attorney. He is very costly. He is a divorce attorney to the stars. We've seen him do things with Portia, I think Nene Leakes, different people. We've seen him on these housewife shows. The fact that he took Todd's case, we know Todd does not have a whole lot of money, right? Todd ain't broke, but the type of lawyer that Randy is, he's charging a hefty penny per hour.
You actually don't know that. You actually do not know that because they have been together for 11 years, which means he could have actually made something. We don't actually know this. This information that you're imparting right now is based on the information that you had before they got married, when he was still doing his regular schmegular job. You don't actually know what he has, but you do have a point that hiring an attorney, an attorney like Randy Kessler, whoever he is, right? It sounds like a big hammer. That does in fact say that she will probably get to pay, which would actually feed into exactly why you don't deal with these males, why they are only parasites.
So remember, an attorney got to get paid. Okay, so they're going to evaluate, if an attorney takes your case, they're going to evaluate whether or not, because I believe Todd has a good case. By the fact that Randy Kessler took his case, told me right then and there that Todd's got a good case.
No. That doesn't mean that he has a good case. It means that doesn't necessarily mean that hiring a big wig doesn't mean that he has a good case. It means that he is very good at manipulating the courts. Do you understand what the difference is? Do you understand what the difference is? Because divorce is not always the cases in court. It's not just divorce. cases in courts are not always about who's actually truth or not, whose truth is actually the right one or not, or what is the real truth. It is about manipulating the information. And the only reason it is like that is because the men are in the court system. That is why there is no integrity there. It is because the men are the ones in control of the court system. Anything they are in is corruption and disgusting cesspool. That is why it is not based on what is actually true, but based on a bunch of manipulative nonsense. Just because he has a big wig, right, doesn't mean he has a good case. It means that it usually means that they're going to manipulate the information.
And then I also know,
but it does in fact mean it's likely that he wins.
That Kandi was caught flat-footed. And the reason why I believe Kandi was caught flat-footed in terms of not believing that this divorce would turn out like this is because she had to amend her original complaint. Her original petition was not prepared.
He's right about that. Because again, Kandi is also brainwashed to think that these men are good when none of them are. I actually, even before I got into this space, I knew this guy was no good from the beginning. And I really hoped, but I hadn't been in this space at the time, right? So I could see how it was going to be disastrous for her. But I was also hoping and praying that I was wrong, because I wanted her so much to have that happiness that it seems everybody was crying was real, even though I could see the red flags. Even though I could see the red flags, we all could see the red flags. But I wanted, because I hadn't been in this space, I didn't know about men at that time. So I wanted so much for her to actually have the happily ever after that I'm hearing people have. And now that I'm in this space, I would have said, oh, hell no, Kandi. Oh, hell no. I probably would have written her a letter saying, don't you dare marry this guy unless you want your life to unravel. I would have sent her that letter. Not that I'm in this space, because he has literally all the signs of a parasitic creature. I'm even watching these videos now, and I'm like, what? After things that have been going on, because I stopped watching their shows years ago. I stopped following. There was a time that I was following this so closely because I just loved it, right? Because I thought they were the best housewife show of the what do they call it? The brand, right? I thought it was the best one because even though I'm an African woman, my soul is totally black. So I love seeing black women. I absolutely love seeing black women win, right? So, and then I stopped watching the show. And now that I'm going back and I'm hearing all these things, and I'm like, my jaw is on the floor with all the kind of crap of how much to a T this guy fits everything. How much to a T he fits everything. And I'm like, I didn't even see that all the time. At that time, I didn't see it like that. At that time, I only saw the red flags. I only saw the red flags. And now I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a parasite. And he's had a host for 11 years and he's about to hatch. These parasitelings are about to hatch.
For what Todd brought afterwards, which tells me she was kind of clueless. She was thinking that I got an ironclad prenup. This is going to be simple. This is going to be easy. And when her attorney drafted the original petition, they were like, it was kind of generic. Hold up the prenup, 50-50 here, do all this. Well, after they found out that Todd had Randy Kessler, and they were like, hold up a second, we're not doing this. They had to come back and amend, which meant that Kandi had no idea that Todd was going to go down this route. Which brings me back to, although Kandi was the one who actually filed the original petition, personally, I believe that Todd left Kandi. I know your he was really, so maybe he is talking to other women, right? And I think that realized as a married woman to a married woman for Kandi, I'd like to say that I'm going to ride with the married woman on certain things because I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Do I want divorce to happen to any married woman? I don't. But Kandi's going to have to realize, like in the court of public opinion, that the lifestyle that she and Todd lived is outside the norm that most married couples live, right?
This is some bullshit, okay? She's about to go on about how, because of this, because of that. I mean, listen, the men, they set a certain set of rules that we are all supposed to follow, right? Because we're brainwashed, monogamy, etc. And then they're also, because of the kind of creatures that they are, which is that which is that they only wanted to use us, right? But they wanted to, of course, they wanted to use us on their terms. So now they want to be able to use us and also do whatever they want. That's what these, the whole sexual marketplace is about. That is why it is a double standard for women. So now she is trying to say, oh well, the double standard that men set up, that is really what you should have been following. The double standard, well, it is what it is. It is just the rules, and you're supposed to just follow the rules, because if you don't do this, if you don't do that, then nobody can say you can do this. What the what who thinks like this? I just don't get it. I mean, yes, of course, brainwashed women think like this. This is BS. This thing that she's about to do, she's about to say,
swinging. They're not doing.
The swinging thing exists only because men do it. Only because men do it. Women would not have thought about this. Women would not have thought about this. Because men, they want to have their woman, and they also want to swing, and also they want their women to swing with them. That is why women know these things. So what she's telling you is that it is okay that the whatever rules men make is what we should follow, is what we should all follow, and don't ask questions, don't do anything else. Even though the rules that they're setting up is not our biology. That's the nonsense that she's saying. Can you guys hear the parasitism that has infected her brain? Can you hear it? Do you really think that if not for men doing all these sexually deviant things, that women will be doing these things? Do you think women will be doing these things? Kandi only knows about swinging because men made sexual thing a thing. Because men made sexuality a thing. She's saying whatever rules men make up, that's what we really should follow. And like we should not follow that which is biological to us, which is that, and the part of it that is biological to us is that you follow what humans do, right? You follow what other humans do, which is what you think that men are human. You think that men are human. That is what Kandi is doing. She thinks this is a human thing because men do it. Otherwise, she would never have gotten this idea for you to be doing this. But men want it to be so that you are restricted, but they can do all kinds of things. That's what she's trying to tell you. And yet, that is okay. Yes, that is okay.
Threesomes. They're not inviting other women into their bed.
That is okay for men to make all kinds of rules and restrict women, and then you have to be judged on your behavior. And if you take on the behavior of that men are doing, which is that you copy them, etc., then you really should be judged, and you were cheating and all that, all those things.
So when all of a sudden someone tells me, well, Todd is cheating, I say, well, wait a minute, aren't you in an open marriage? Aren't you having threesomes already? Then if you come to me and you say, well, that's outside the rules of our threesome and also of our
exactly. This is exactly how a man would have set up the rules. He would want to do threesomes, and then he would also want to cheat. The idea of all of it is that you are at their beck and call while they get to do their own nature, because the cheating part is their true nature. The cheating part is their true nature. They want to infect everything and anything. That is why they cannot not cheat. They want to infect everything and anything. That is how a parasite works. For them, but they also need a woman to do the cooking, to do the cleaning, and also to ensure that even when he doesn't have the time to go find, to go do the hunting, or when if the hunting fails at some point, there is still going to be a woman to have sex with at home. That is the setup. That is the setup that they have. That is the setup. The woman at home is the backup for the sex, to make sure that he always has access to sex.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not going to parse. What I don't know is, even when you were with these other third parties, Kandi, Todd could say, well, you teach because we colored outside those rules. That was outside of what we said. No. This is widespread or rampant. We now outside of Atlanta, outside of Georgia. We're into normal married households. And this stuff sees with women and also dibble and dabble with different men. And once you start getting to that area, I'm not going to call any other person. That's fine. But that's a dangerous game, because plus she's a woman. There is a double standard. Any release of information surrounding
She just said there's a double standard, and that double standard is okay. And that double standard is okay. Instead of teaching women how to destroy the double standard, she's trying to uphold it. Disgusting brainwashedness.
Promiscuous sexual activity, Kandi will look worse than Todd. You may not like it, but it's true. Kandi has more to lose for this information to get out about what they was really doing in their marriage than Todd has. It's a double standard. We could call it sexism. You could call it whatever you want because Kandi's famous. But if information gets out about really what was going on sexually in that marriage with threesomes and different people, I'm not saying Todd's gonna look good. He's gonna look bad. But Kandi's gonna look worse. And that's why I believe that Kandi has already tried to seal the information.
What if she looks worse? So what if she looks worse? So what if she looks worse? The only way you get over shaming women and imprisoning us with that shame is by making everything public. Is in fact by more stories coming out that these things are happening, because that shows you that based on the biological rules that women that men are set up, that men have told us are our biology, because even though it's not really our biology, we are, they set these things up as though it is our biology. And so we think that they are. And so we engage in them thinking that they are. She's saying adhere to those restrictions, adhere to the standards. Don't free yourselves, no, women. No. Don't free yourselves. You must be imprisoned by the double standards. This is sickening.
On this case, and that's also why I believe that Kandi will settle. Because Kandi is not going to want all her dirt and information in the streets.
Kandi, please let them out. So we all know that these things are happening. Because underneath the lies that men have put up with is also actual human biology that they happen. Which means your human biology are going to come out. They are going to come out.
She's not going to want it. If you think back long ago when Portia said all that stuff about them having a sex dungeon, right? And Kandi got really upset. Portia went so far as to say, you almost tried to drug me, this and that, and this and that. And Kandi was going to sue Portia for lying or making up stuff or ruining her reputation. Whether all that part of what Portia was saying was a lie, the part about the activities that go on, minus all the drugging people, I believe was the truth. There's always some truth to lies, people's lies.
Kandi has never ever hid that. She herself has said that. It isn't just that Portia said it. It isn't just that it was Portia who said it. Kandi herself has said it many times. What is this woman talking about?
And there was a truth behind what Kandi and Todd does. So you can't have all this type of activity and then come back to me as another married woman and say Todd cheated on me. No, I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Maybe other people.
Exactly what a man would have done. If it was a man who was saying that his wife was cheating, etc., like Will Smith, let's review. Let's say she has a video about Will Smith and see whose side she's on about Will Smith's marriage.
Out there want to hear that? I'm not going to hear it. This is the part where I think they're going to have a problem. When Todd and Kandi first got married, one thing that I can say about their relationship, one of the foundations of their relationship always to me felt businesslike, right? I'm not saying they didn't love each other. I think that they did. But I think a strong part of what bonded them together was they both like to make money and they like to be entrepreneurs and start businesses. So one of the things that I believe would also incentivize Kandi to marry Todd. People want to say, this is what Kandi gets for marrying below her. She should have married a guy on her own level. But what you guys forget to remember is Kandi didn't have a whole lot of offers, okay? People act like Kandi had 15 men lined up and 14 of them were millionaires or men who made a lot of money.
Listen to this brainwashed shell of a woman. Listen to the disgusting thing that she's saying. Your option is a horrible parasite. Only option is a horrible parasite. Because you don't have 15 men lined up. So your only option is to be with a man. Your only option is to be with a man. This is the thing that these men have brainwashed us with. What about the single women? Why are there 30% single women and they're thriving? And then a good portion of them are thriving. And the only reason they're not thriving is because of a lack of resources, which means you don't actually need a man. If what you're missing is resources, and the women who have them versus the women who don't have them, and that is the difference between them, why is it that is not enough evidence for her to know that it is not actually a man that you needed? Kandi had another option that she is refusing to list, and that was herself. And I promise you, when this divorce thing goes down, What Kandi is going to be saying is not, oh, I wish I had waited for my 15 other options, and I wish I'd had 15 other options. She would have said, I wish I hadn't married. Again, that's when you tap into your subconscious, where the brainwash did not reach. She would say, I wish I hadn't married.
And the 15th person was Todd, who at that time was only making whatever, $150,000. And what Kandi did was she skipped over all the millionaires and she chose Todd. That's not what happened. Y'all remember Kandi being on Real Housewives of Atlanta. In fact, when she was on there, she was really, I think she had a boyfriend. She did have a boyfriend. She had a what other offers did Kandi have? So Kandi was on a housewife show. They went on to have 2 beautiful children. But I believe that the initial conversations were part of it was a mutually beneficial relationship in which they both felt like they could make some money off. I believe Candi's involvement with Todd was also to benefit her. I don't think it was just about Todd getting money from Kandi. I believe that it was a mutually beneficial relationship in which they both felt like they could make some money off it. This is not to diminish their love, because I don't want to do that. Beneficial to benefit her. I don't think it was just about Todd getting money from Kandi. I believe that it was a mutually beneficial relationship.
That's just not true. Kandi loved that man. Kandi loved that man. And this one, I just don't know where she's coming from. Kandi loved that man, except for the fact that she wasn't stupid as well. She wasn't also stupid. That is what she's now saying wasn't love. It was all business, because she wasn't stupid. Listen to this woman. Because Kandi wasn't stupid and she handled the business part of it, that must mean there was no love.
In which they both felt like they could make some money off it. This is not to diminish their love, because I don't want to do that, because I still believe
you have to understand when her, the way she's thinking about this, the way she's coming from, because the man that she has in her life needs her to be foolishly stupid for him to win every day. That man needs her to be foolishly stupid and all in love and no business parts. This is how they win. If you're smart enough to be able to handle the business part, you don't love them enough because they can't parasite you as much as they would like.
They love each other. They went on to have 2 beautiful children. But I believe that the initial conversations, or part of what brought them together, was the fact they like to get that bag. Because we know Kandi likes to make money. She loved to make money. So that's the first thing when I think about the fact that why they got married even in the first place. Now you go.
So why they got married? They got married because she loved him.
And you say, once they decided to get married, and you had a big objection from Mama Joyce. I know a lot of people are running around talking about Mama Joyce was right. Well, listen to your mama. Mama Joyce is not right. Has like, well, about everyone. So it's almost like even a broken clock can be correct twice a day. That's how I feel like Mama Joyce is. So do I believe that Todd had a whole scheme that from the very beginning of this marriage, what he set out to do was, I'm gonna marry Kandi, I'm gonna wait 10 years, I'm gonna divorce her and take her money? I don't think so. Where Kandi?
Yes, actually, that's what he had. Yes, actually, yes, because let me tell you something. It is easy for these men to think like this because that is their normal state. She will find it hard time believing that because she doesn't understand that they're not actually human. Their brain does not work like the human brain. Their brain is very, very calculating. So it absolutely is possible that that is what would happen. The minute when I was, even before I knew the state of males, okay? Even before I knew that, when I was going through those shows, like religion, okay? Like it was my religion. There was something in the back of my mind that whatever this director is, because that is how they met on the show, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. He was a director on the show that she was on the show that she is a star on. Okay, so one thing went through my mind, and I thought to myself, this director, whoever he was dealing with at the time, would clearly want to elevate to this new woman simply because she has more resources. And I didn't even know anything about men at the time. I didn't even know anything about men at the time. I knew enough to think that. And then, but that's not it. That isn't the singular evidence. The other evidence is that there have been many instances where people who knew him have said that he is this kind of person. And at the time, I didn't even believe it. I barely believed it at the time. I kind of believed it, but not all the way. because I wanted to, there was still a part of me that wanted to give him a benefit of doubt because I didn't know these things that I know now about men. I wanted to give him the benefit of doubt, thinking, hoping that, they would turn out to be wrong. And now my jaw is so far on the floor. I'm like, how the hell do us women keep missing these things? How the hell do us women keep missing these things? And I want to tell you how. It is their human face. Inherent in that face is the what? The thing that I told you about, which is that what? Your own species are not supposed to prey on you. So what ends up happening is that when you see their human face, you have this thing in you that makes you trust them. This is why you trust other women. This is the source of your trust of other women. This is why, even though you know what the men are doing, and you know that women have done that too, you still trust women. That is what that is coming from. The face is very, very, very effective. That is why we keep giving them the benefit of doubt. That's why we keep giving them the benefit of doubt. And that is why she is easily brainwashed. That is why we will all easily brainwashed, because we see our faces in them. Because so why would they lie to us was the question. So what they're saying must be true. And because they are always there, and because they are the ones with any interest to brainwash anyone, they are the ones who are always talking, which is why we believe men. They are the ones who are always talking, but they're talking to brainwash us. Because us women, we're not interested in brainwashing, so we're not doing a bunch of talking. This is how they are winning, inherent in human biology, exploiting human biology.
Kandi went wrong. First of all, that prenup, that coercion, sign a prenup before 4 hours is coercion. I hate to tell you. The second part is
no, it's not. It is not coercion, because again, she had mentioned she had mentioned the prenup months before the actual D-Day. It was actually, and I actually think that it was him who dragged it out to 4 hours before. It was him who dragged it out.
That little raggedy scene where right before the wedding, that lawyer that Kandi had shows up and has Todd sign a prenup 4 hours before the wedding.
No, he dragged it out.
Here's
I
something
don't remember exactly how it happened, but I remember that she was trying to get him to sign it until until right before the wedding, because he kept dragging his feet. He kept acting like he had questions. He kept acting like he was talking to a lawyer. He kept doing this, kept doing that.
most drivers don't know. The older your car, the cheaper your insurance should be.
That's tacky. That's tacky. The wedding should have been called off. If Todd didn't sign that prenup sooner than that, the wedding should have been called off. In terms of was he coerced, I believe he was.
No. The only thing that she's done right, that this man is going to win, is that he was able to get a big wig. And again, and that is because those guys, first, they are very good at manipulating. Second, they usually don't take cases that aren't going to win. You understand?
I believe that they're going to say that he was coerced because you do need to have an attorney present when you sign a prenup. Otherwise, it can be challenged.
And he told him, I remember, I actually do remember what I'm about to say very clearly. She told him several times to get a lawyer, to get an attorney. He even pretended that he had one. She told him to get an attorney. She told him, this man has never done anything subterfuge to this man. But all she saw is how she is doing something wrong and not how he's doing anything wrong.
The other reason why I think that there is some leeway in that prenup is because because to me, it was really, really unfair. And I believe that's another tenet of a prenup, that it has to be equitable. I remember Todd and Kandi arguing, and Todd saying, Kandi, if we get divorced, you need me out the house in 30 days. I can't even move to the guest house to give me time to be able to find an apartment. And what Kandi is saying is, no, why do you need more than 30 days? Well, guess what, Kandi? This is what you got. Because Todd knew he had 30 days to get out, what he didn't do was tell you when he was going to leave you, right? Because by telling you all of a sudden divorce time or whatever, he was only going to have 30 days. So he moved sooner than later. And I do believe he was doing some planning behind Kandi's back, because I believe that Todd knew he was going to leave Kandi probably over a year ago, if not.
This is the second time. And that is the second proof of why you do not attach yourself to parasites. Why their existence does not even make any sense. Because why would you want to deal with somebody who does subterfuge like this? You just have to understand. You just have to understand, like, one thing, right? What women do, when women have to do this, it is because of their safety, right? It is because of their safety. But this man, they have been married for years, and he has been getting what? More deals. He's been getting more work. He's been getting more opportunities because of her. So it's not like he's broke. So whatever she's saying is nonsense, because this information was from 11 years ago, when he wouldn't have as much money. Now he's likely a millionaire himself, which means that 30 days would be nothing. This man is just a parasite, and parasites do what parasites do. This information that she's saying would only be relevant, as she said it, when he was the $150,000 guy, not when 11 years later, after all the opportunities, after all the TV appearances, after the social media, etc., where he likely would have built up his own net worth, which means he would have been able to move out 30 days. So that means that he didn't need subterfuge. Do you understand? He wouldn't need subterfuge. And the thing is that she set it up like this. She is the one who enabled him to make all that money, not just by by blessing him with her star power, but also the deals that they're making, the businesses that they did together. She made sure he got paid. She made sure he got paid with the businesses that they are doing together. She always says that they're going to share it together. They're going to share the money together. I don't know how this woman could have missed this, because this woman always says this, and she has not ever one time wavered on that. That means this guy is likely already a millionaire. That means no subterfuge will have been needed. There was zero reason for subterfuge except for the fact that he is male. He doesn't need her money right now. He doesn't need her money because he's likely already rich himself.
That's what I believe. And the other part where I think Kandi did wrong, besides drafting a prenup that says you get nothing, you don't get any alimony, you don't get any, at that time they didn't have children, so child support wasn't even an issue. You get nothing. You leave with the clothes on your back after 10 years.
Stop it. She did not say that. That's how he phrased it. And I don't know why she said yes to that, but that was not. But I actually can't remember this but I know that was how he phrased it. I do know that part, but I can't remember what she said. But what I do remember that she that has been part of the conversation afterwards was that whatever they build together, the marital things that they built together, he was going to get part of that, exactly how his portion should have been. He has maintained that very consistently. What the prenup was about was the assets that she had before him. Before. But I think he said it insofar as he gets to get some of her money that she had before, not what they built together. That's what he was referring to. And I remember that clearly. I remember that clearly. He was referring to the money that she had built up before him.
Now, here's where I have another problem with when women make a lot of money. Okay. When you make a lot of money like Kandi does, and your net worth is so far outside of your spouse's, Todd's case, in a lot of ways, you've taken on the traditional male role, right? Whereby it's the man's net worth, who is whatever, 20 million, whatever Candy's worth, and the woman has come in with not a
What she said that pissed me off, she's about to say it.
lot of net worth. That's typically what you're seeing in these rich man and a woman who has a job, but she's gonna quit her job. So what you want me to say is, if I'm a married woman and I'm looking at a couple getting divorced, I might identify more with Todd because typically that is the position women are in. So now I want to say, wait a minute, you mean to tell me if the roles were reversed and it was a man who had the type of money that Kandi has? You have Todd. Todd, who has worked in Kandi's businesses for 10 years. He helped her build these businesses. Even Kandi herself has told us that before Todd, she said, yeah, I was doing well, but Todd helped me take it to another level. Todd was very instrumental in actually getting Old Lady Gang up and going. Now, think about it. They got Old Lady Gang up and running. Todd, I believe, was the mastermind behind that. He capitalized on people liking Mama Joy's, Aunt Bertha, Kandi, right? So here's Todd saying, we're going to blow up Aunt Bertha and Mama Joyce so we can make some money. This is why I'm telling you, Todd and both Kandi both care about money, because Todd was willing to work with Mama Joyce, who he don't even like, just to make some money. And he invested in that restaurant. Mama Joyce probably made some money because they're using her likeness, her name. Aunt Bertha's making money. Kandi's making money. So now you want to say, Kandi, after 10, 15 years, imagine you were a woman. Imagine you used to have a job where you made $100,000. You marry a rich man. Your rich man says, go ahead and quit your job. I want you to take all that information you have, all that know-how you have to produce things, all of your trade. I want you to take all that knowledge, and I want you to start investing in me, my businesses, my family, my mother, my aunt, to blow us up. And then afterwards, if we get divorced, you don't get shit? No. That's why I can't really be on Kandi's side for that, because I'm looking out for a woman in that position. I'm saying, you mean to tell me I gave up my job, I worked in your business for 10 years, I hope you build a lot of these brands that you have, but yet you want to say I walk away with nothing? I don't have any equity in the growth of you? Absolutely not. That's what we fight about all the time when we talk about women being beside men and helping men make money and get better. And we're saying there's no way you can disregard a woman's role in a man's life after 10 years that they get nothing. But all of a sudden now you want people to disregard Todd's role in Kandi's life? No, can't do it. And the fact that Kandi asked for that in a prenup, I call that very greedy. I call that very greedy. It's almost offensive that you would think that someone should invest in you for 10 years. Okay, sure, he's getting benefit too. Of course, just like a wife will be getting benefit from helping her husband get better. Of course, she's living a life too. I get it. But at the end of this 10-year marriage, and that's a long time for a marriage, right? That's a long time. Most marriages only last 5 years. You mean you walk away with nothing? No. And I'm going to tell you another thing. The other part about this sort of double standard is that Kandi is the boss chick. She's the runner. She's running the show. Right? So Kandi buys this house and she pays cash for it, from what I hear, $500,000 cash. Well, I've heard Kandi plenty of times on TV saying Todd pays all the household bills. So I'm like, wait a minute, Kandi, if you purchase a house prior to being married and the house is in your name, what type of household bills is Todd paying? Now, if Todd is only paying the electric bill, the gas bill, then I'm cool with that, Kandi. But if anywhere along the way, Todd was paying insurance or taxes or maintenance or repairs for that house, then guess what, Kandi? He should share in the equity of that house. I don't care if you bought it for him. That's where Kandi messes up. You see, Kandi wants, just like Todd said, she want to play both sides. She want to be the man and the woman, right? But most men, if you're worth $30 million, $20 million, you're not going to make the woman pay household bills. Imagine this. You married to a man who's worth $20 million, $30 million, and he comes to you after he told you you can quit your $100,000 job, but I want you to pay household bills. And then when we get divorced, you've been paying household bills for 10 years. You don't get no part of this house. You got to be crazy. You got to be crazy. So what Kandi wanted Todd to do was pay the household bills so she could say that she ain't paying all Todd's bills. Well, that's fine, Kandi. You wanted to pretend like Todd was paying household bills. You want to give him some responsibility. Well, what you did was you jeopardized the equity in that house. You should never have had Todd pay no household bills, so it would have been clean. So you could say, nope, he didn't pay for no upgrades, he didn't pay for no maintenance, he didn't pay for nothing around here. So there's no reason why he should share in any equity in this house. But because you made him pay bills, because you made him work in your business and grow your business, there is no way after 10 years you can have him work in your business, fix up your house, and he gets nothing. That's when you're trying to double dip, Kandi. That's when you're trying to be the man and the woman. You're trying to get the benefits of the woman, but you're also trying to get the benefits of the man.
Stop right there. That's what she said. That is what she said. That pissed me the fuck off. Listen to this.
Fix up your house, and he gets nothing. That's when you're trying to double dip, Kandi. That's when you're trying to be the man and the woman. You're trying to get the benefits of the woman, but you're also trying to get the benefits of the man, and that's what.
Okay, right there. She's basically saying that even though she can do both, which is, make money and have the children, she should only get one benefit, and whatever she makes you, he should get. I mean, this is the bullshit that the men have brainwashed us with. This is the reason you don't need a man. It's a parasite, so it comes up with all these ridiculous things. Even though you can do both, you should only benefit one. Even though you are capable of both, the man should get something, even though it produces nothing. I mean, not that he, this guy that we're talking about, particular guy, doesn't produce anything. But she's saying to the scenario of any man, right? If any such scenario appears, this is what you got. If you're the woman and you can reproduce, you can cook, you can do all these things, you must. And the man does nothing, you must still only get half of it, even though if he didn't contribute anything. That is eventually what that means. Because if you can do all of it, what the heck do you need him for? And if he's going to get it anyway, without having done anything, right? Then he doesn't have to do anything. Do you not know these men? He doesn't have to do anything to you. This is the nonsense she just said. She's trying to be, she's trying to be the woman and the man. Yes, because they've made making money only a man thing, which means that if you a woman, you should be prevented to make money so that you can die with your children and your children with you. That is the brainwash she is spilling right now. If making money is only a man's pursuit, then you, a woman, have no right to live. That is what the brainwashed nonsense she is spilling. Pissed me off. Of course, she should get both benefits because she did both. But she even got it all wrong, because all the things that she was saying prior to that, as I was waiting for her to get to that point, was even all wrong. She got it all so badly wrong. She got it all so badly wrong. The reason she has it badly wrong is because she has been brainwashed to see it from the man's side, from the side of the man who produces and provides nothing. That's seen it. She has been brainwashed to see it from the parasites. From the parasite's point of view, which is, well, he doesn't have to do anything, but he's supposed to get something from you. Let's go back to all the things that she was saying that she was getting wrong.
I gave up my job. I worked in your business for 10 years. I worked with Mama Joyce, who he don't even like, just to make some money. And he invested in that restaurant, Kandi. After 10, 15 years, imagine you were a woman. Imagine you used to have a job where you made $100,000. You marry a rich man. Your rich man says, go ahead and quit your job. I want you to take all that information you have, all that know-how you have to produce things, all of your trade. I want you to take all that knowledge, and I want you to start investing in me, my businesses, my family, my mother, my aunt, to blow us up. And then,
first of all, yes, she did tell him to quit the job, only because she said they can do better, as in they, both of them, that he is going to benefit too. She has always maintained that. So what she's just described did not even exist at all. This was not the dynamic. The things that they built together, he had equal equity to it. He had equal equity to it. This was not even happening. What the prenup was to protect her existing or pre-existing assets. So what she's saying does not even exist.
So we can make some money. This is what I'm telling you.
And this is the difference between a man and a woman. Okay, a man will set up exactly this. This is exactly what a man would set up. She didn't say quit your job and then just be a stay-at-home and be a stay-at-home husband who just takes care of the kids, and then she has to pinch out pennies to him. She said quit your job so that we can put it into building our businesses in which we can enjoy together. If you met a man like that, you should praise God. If you ever met a man who would do that, yeah, you should praise God. That is actually exactly how it was supposed to be. That is exactly how it actually was supposed to be. So this thing that she was describing did not exist. Did not incite him to quit his job and just not earn anything for himself. She used her star power to help him make money, and so that he can help her also make money. Which is why she would easily admit to everybody online that, yeah, he has taken me to a different level. Do you think a man would do that? How many men do you hear going around talking about their, yeah, my wife, my wife got me to this, to this role that I have, this acting role that made me 20 million. How many men do you hear saying that? Because they're trying to hide the fact that their wife was the brain. She's out here telling everybody that he was the brain. of their new operations, that he was the brain that took their new operation to new heights. What man do you know does that?
Todd and both Kandi both care about money because Todd was willing to work with Mama Joyce, who he don't even like, just to make some money. So now you want to say, Kandi, after 10, 15 years, imagine you're a woman. Imagine you used to have a job where you made $100,000. You marry a rich man. Your rich man says, go ahead and quit your job. I want you to take all that information you have, all that know-how you have to produce things, all of your trade. I want you to take all that knowledge and I want you to start investing in me, my businesses, my family, my mother, my aunt to blow us up. And then afterwards, if we get divorced, you don't get shit. No.
What the man would have said was, how he said it is exactly what the man would have done. He would have said, invest them in me. I make the money, and then I pinch them to you in pennies. That's not what she did. She said, quit your job so that you can use your skills to make us money, which they share equally.
That's why I can't really be on Kandi's side for that, because I'm looking out for a woman in that position. I'm saying, you mean to tell me I gave up my job? I worked in your business for 10 years. I hope you build a lot of these brands that you.
She didn't work in her business for 10 years. They worked together on projects that made them both money and also worked in her business for 10 years. Do you understand that? So he's making money. He's getting paid.
You have, but yet you want to say I walk away with nothing?
Do you understand how immaculately rare that is? That your spouse would pay you for doing the job. When men typically would just expect free labor. How this woman got this wrong, I don't know. How she got it so badly wrong, I don't know.
I don't have any equity in the growth of you. Absolutely not. That's what we fight about all the time when we talk about women being beside men and helping men make money and get better. And we're saying there's no way you can disregard a woman's role in a man's life after 10 years that they get nothing. But all of a sudden now you want people to disregard Todd's role in Kandi's life. No, can't do it. And the fact that Kandi asked for that in a prenup.
You never said that. I actually just watched a video today, right before getting her video, that said that when she said when she is getting her makeup done, and he was on social media. He was the one on social media, and she just happened to be getting her hair done, makeup, etc. Right? Our glam squad was there, and they actually, and this discussion came up, and he was saying the same. He was asking the same question. So you're saying that he shouldn't get anything? And she said, no, he would get what they built together. Which, how many times have you heard a man say that? I have never ever heard a man say that. Even the times when I have asked them questions specifically about what about the things that you actually did build together, and they still say, I did it.
And that's what's going to pay my bill, because I believe Todd has a good case. By the fact that Randy Kessler took his case, told me right then and there that Todd's got a good case. And then afterwards, if we get divorced, you don't get shit. Being beside men and helping men make money and get better. And we're saying there's no way you can disregard a woman's role in a man's life after 10 years that they get nothing. But all of a sudden, I get it. But at the end of this 10-year marriage, and that's a lot of time prior to being married, and the house is in your name, what type of household bills is Todd paying? Now, if Todd is only paying the electric bill, the gas bill, then I'm cool with that, Kandi. But if anywhere along the way, Todd was paying insurance or taxes or maintenance or repairs for that house, then guess what, Kandi? He should share in the equity of that house. I don't care if you bought it for him. That's where Kandi messes up. You see,
as far as I'm concerned, he shouldn't be paying rent. It doesn't have to be called bills, but he's supposed to be paying something. And here's the thing, and here also is why this is, just yet another reason why you shouldn't be with this man, because it is always a problem with them. Because it is always a problem with them. The reason she doesn't want to be, I'm paying for a man. Paying for a man is because of how men have used women in the past, so that women are now aware that she shouldn't just give men anything, which means that, again, she is very slightly at the very basic minimum level aware that being with a man is ridiculous. The reason these things are even contentious is that these men are full of nonsense. The reason this bill paying thing is so contentious is that these men are full of nonsense. They have done subterfuge after con artists and after lying, after deception, that you now understand. You must have a man paying a bill, or you are being stupid. How come these things never come up with your own children who mooch off of you all the time? Don't we much about our parents? How come how come paying bills is never an issue with our parents? Because your kids don't actually mooch off of you. Because for the things that you're providing them, they provide you value that you actually appreciate. They provide you value that you would actually appreciate. Your adult children help you with things. Your adult children help you with things. They love you unconditionally and all these things. This is why it's not as much of an issue. And even the part that is an issue now, even the part that is an issue now has been because of how men have so badly infected us and brainwashed us and caused all this nonsense amongst us. A mother-daughter, no matter how much generation, you will have been giving so much to each other that this bill sharing thing will not even be an issue.
Kandi wants, just like Todd said, she want to play both sides. She want to be the man and the woman, right? But most men, if you're worth $30 million, $20 million, you're not going to make the woman pay household bills.
So what she's saying is that being a man is making money. Being a man, right? Being a man is, so being able to feed your family is only a man, is only the man's role. It's only the man's portion. It's only the man's biology. This is some ridiculous shit. It's just so sickening to me.
Imagine this. You married to a man who's worth $20 million, $30 million, and he comes to you after he told you you can quit your $100,000 job, but I want you to pay household bills. But I remember an episode where Kandi wanted Todd to sell his New Jersey condo. And Todd was saying, I don't want to sell it. It's the only thing that I own. If anything ever happened to us, I want to be able to have something to leave to my daughter, because you're going to have plenty to leave. At this time, they didn't have children. You're going to have plenty to leave to your daughter. I want to have something to leave to my daughter. Kandi told Todd, you need to sell that condo. I don't think he sold it. Good for him. Because what did Kandi want him to do? Sell the New Jersey condo, take the money, invest it in her house that she bought, and remodel that house. And then when they get divorced, tell him he don't get no part of the equity in that house. Kandi gonna settle. She gonna settle. And we already know that they got a lot of debt, because the restaurant business.
Does she actually understand that this man, in the setup of the businesses, that he was making money, that he was in fact making money the entire time, that he wasn't just, he wasn't doing all these things with not making any money? Does she know that? Does any of you actually think that if a man is going to engage in a woman's business just for the entire benefit of the woman, you don't think that this man was getting paid? That he was actually having a salary, that he was drawing salary, that he was drawing equity? This woman is brain dead, delusional. Not only is it that it's happening because Kandi never actually offered him such a deal, right? She's always maintained that he was going to make money. A man would never stand for that. He never would have been in that situation for 11 years if he was financially being abused.
It's a hard business.
This is the look of a pygmy, people.
And typically people who own restaurants, they accumulate a lot of debt, especially when it gets ready to close. I know Kandi done had lawsuits. People done sued her over people get hurt at that restaurant. I remember someone sued her over.
Which is it? This guy was brilliant, and he added value to her, or this particular restaurant, which was one of the projects that he took on, is doing so badly. Which is it?
As if that she didn't pay him correctly. We know the business closed pretty fast. We've seen the articles about landlords suing them for money, but they still owe back rent for some of the steakhouse or whatever. And even Kandi mentioned in her divorce that they had debts. So let me get this straight. Y'all got debts in the marital house, but you believe Todd shouldn't walk away with any money. Well, how are you gonna pay the debts?
Again, saying things that are just not true. She has never ever said that. The money that he's not supposed to walk away with are the stuff that she already had before. That is the prenup he is trying to break. Do you understand that? Basically, he's trying to parasite her, and the reason why it is parasitism is that he wants to get something he didn't put into, just because, right? So the things that he did put into, those are the things that he did earn, and the reason he was there for that long even was because he was in fact earning money. He would have left a lot sooner, basically 3 months after they got married. If he wasn't making any money, men do not stand for nonsense, unlike women. Unlike women, he would have left 3 months after their marriage, after their wedding, if he wasn't making any money. He would have left. The fact that he stayed is evidence that he was in fact making money, and he was making good money. He would have even left if he was making only a little bit. If it was anything unfair to him, he would have left. He would have left. What he's trying to get are an asset from before. What he's trying to get now are the assets from before. And this something else that she got wrong, which is like, oh no, this is what women do, etc., etc. No, women also bear the children, and they also have to care for the children, right? Which is what the man never bothers to do. Meanwhile, Todd, Kandi was still caring for the children. She bore the children. Well, they actually paid for one, but she bore a child. She did all of that, which means that in a marriage, if the man, right, if the woman is carrying the children, the woman is the one making money. What is a man for? The reason it makes even more sense with when the man is the one making money and the woman is just at home. The reason why it was so easy to believe was because both of them are bringing something to the table. If a woman is doing the birthing and also caring for the children and also the money, what do you need a man for? What would you need a man for? That is the reason why they were splitting assets. That is the reason they were splitting assets in the first place. But these men have yet again, they have contorted it, they have warped it into what it's not supposed to be. So now they're just like, oh, you know what? I was there, therefore I should get 50%. I was there, therefore I should get. And you should know this. There were women who were doing the same thing that she's saying, which is even though they weren't there, they're just, they had a child and then they want all of your assets. Those women lose. There were women like that, but those women typically lose. And they will only get not like, they would typically get, some child support. They would get some child support. And some of them, yes, they did get a lot of child support, but that was wrong. But that was because of the child. But the trapping the guy into that state, that is wrong. But the problem with guys is that they know women are doing these things and they still refuse to actually wrap up, because you would tell them you could scream till you're blue in the face, and the men refuse to listen. The men refuse to listen, and they just want to do whatever they want. They want to do it raw. They want to do this, no condom, none of that. The men were literally walking into these traps. The men were willingly walking into these traps. But that's not what women do. That is not what women do. So now this dad is trying to get a child support for a child he didn't make, for a child that he wasn't taken care of, for all of these things. What the heck is it for? Now he's going to use the child support thing. He's going to use the child support as a scheme to get her money. What he's doing? Those women with the child support scams, right? They are going to be taking care of the child. This man is not going to be taking care of the child, and it's not more than what the woman is going to do. Not more than what the woman is going to. And she would like to say, oh no, actually, other creators are saying, well, Kandi travels, etc. When has Kandi traveling ever neglected her kids? She has never ever done that. The reason this woman is successful is because she was balancing everything so well. She even takes care of other people's children. When has Kandi's work ever interrupted her kids? or kids, well-being. It has never ever done that. People are just saying nonsense. Have made this whole thing. This is why you don't deal with these men. They are parasites, and so they will twist everything. He provides no benefits to this woman, and he wants her money. This is parasitism. The reason it's not in the other way is because the woman is actually providing a benefit to him. But the problem is that the benefit that she is providing, they do not recognize it as benefits. They do not recognize it as benefits because they do not see those children as his children. They see those children as only her children. But they only see the children as his children only when it is time to parasite her, using them. That is why they don't want to pay for child support, because those are really her children. And now he's trying to use her children to parasite her yet again, asking for child support. This is why you do not deal with these men. They are parasites, nothing but parasites, and they behave like it.
So you mean to tell me that I invest in your business, because it's your business, can be enforced in some way, but the prenup doesn't cover children. So Todd don't get child support, and he's going to get child support in the form that those children should be able to live the same life at Kandi's house as they live at his house.
You understand that he doesn't take care of the kids any better than she does. It's a lie that he does.
So if they're living a $10,000 a month life with Kandi, as Kandi says she's paying the nanny, then they're gonna have to live a $10,000 a month life with Todd, which means Kandi gonna be paying child support. Kandi may think child support is gonna be 50-50. It's not, because her net worth is more. I don't know how Georgia does it, but here in California, Kandi gonna have to pay more child support. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know where Kandi was really not thinking right. That when she got married to Todd, she was thinking, I could in a lot of ways use Todd to help me on the show of Real Housewives of Atlanta by getting married and now having married status. I could use Todd to help me start restaurants, Kandi Cody nights, everything else. I could use Todd to pay household bills. But at the end of this all falling apart, Todd would have to walk away with nothing, and Todd would have to pay child support to me.
No, she never said that. She never said that, okay? She never said that. Based on her current assets is what she was talking about. And that would make sense if you understand it, if you understand how the conversation would be at the time, right? That would be when they hadn't gotten married. Therefore, there would be no marital assets, right? So whatever conversation they were having at the time, under in this context that she is talking about, would be the assets that she already had.
Girl.
For an elf, the holidays are stressful, but for Bryson's got a bonkers deal at a new Google Pixel 10. Gemini, when's our next train coming?
Right now.
Girl, this is a mess. Kandi's not gonna want this stuff to come out, you see. And the timing of this divorce, honestly, I don't find it too odd, because one thing I've seen with Real Housewives people across all the franchises is when they stop being a housewife and they lose those big salaries. And I think Kandi was making, I don't know, was she making like $1 million a year? I don't know. That's a lot of money to lose out of the household. What I suspect is that the money Kandi was making on Real Housewives Atlanta was bankrolling a lot of these other businesses. I don't think all these other businesses were as profitable as people think. I think they might have made some money, but I think there was also a money pit. But when that Real Housewives money was rolling in, it could be used to subsidize those other businesses. So once Kandi got fired, and I'm gonna say it again, fired, Kandi did not quit Real Housewives. She, just like Kandi ain't divorced Todd, Kandi has been allowed to make it appear as if she left Real Housewives. She was fired, okay? Kandi has made it appear as if she left Todd. Todd left her, right? And when that check from the Real Housewives of Atlanta dried up, that's even less money for Todd to spend on these other businesses. Now, do I believe Todd was also fed up with Kandi from being gone?
Honestly, I mean, what she just said that he left her. I mean, yeah, that is actually believable, because I mean, this man. But I just really wanted her to win. Okay, I just really wanted her to win. It really makes me sad that she really didn't. Even though I know it was on the bed of lies already.
Because I also read that Instagram post he did to his mama, where he told his mama, who is dead and deceased, I'm gonna make you proud, mama. Because what he said is, vengeance is mine. Not vengeance is the Lord. Vengeance is mine. I'm gonna tell you, that text, that Instagram post that Todd wrote to his mama basically said, I'm here for some get back. All that stuff that Mama Joyce did to you, all that stuff where Kandi never stood up for me, mama, and you, mama, and they let Mama Joyce run her mouth like she did. We about to show them. We're gonna stick it to them. They worried about this money. We're gonna stick it to them where they're hurt. And what Todd is on right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, he's on some get back and he's on some revenge for the 10 years in which he was belittled by Mama Joyce and Mama Joyce belittled his mama and called him all kind of names. He said, that's fine. You ain't never thought of me differently for 10 years, then I'm gonna become the very person you think I am. That's what I believe. That's what I believe.
No, you guys, he was already that person. He was already that person, okay?
I know Kandi was thinking that this was going to be very amicable, right? That's what she wants. She don't want to fight. but she's gonna have a fight on her hands because we know Kandi's tight with some money. We know she's tight. I don't know anything about the attorney she has, but I'm gonna say this: I did hear her attorney also representing a housewife on some other situation. Now, I think I could be wrong. This Randy Kessler guy is a divorce specialist. Like that's his main practice of law, right? Sometimes you can go get these attorneys and they represent clients in all different types of cases. They not only do divorce, they do, slip and falls, they do personal injury, they do a whole litany of types of things. But I'm under the me personally, when you really need to go hard in the paint on a subject, you need to get you a specialist. You don't need to get a person who does a couple of divorces. You want to get a person where divorce is their bread and butter, because when they say bread and butter, they're more specialized and more educated in that area. And I think Kandi and her lawyer got a bit flat-footed. I think their original filing was, I don't even know why they put that out originally. Maybe Kandi said, oh, we don't need to do nothing special. This is going to be an easy divorce. Just make it generic, because Kandi didn't want to pay no big prices for no attorney. And I bet she was probably trying to be a little bit cheap herself. And Todd said, no, I'm spending all this money. Just like Todd would spend all that money in their business. Everybody said Todd would spend all Kandi's money with these bad business ideas. That's fine. Well, Todd is still spending money because he doesn't spend a lot of money on this attorney. But that's what I think. I know some of you have written me and asked me, what do I think about what's going on with Todd and Kandi? I think she's going to settle. She's going to settle because one is she's not going to want all of this to come out. Kandi got a lot of skeletons in her closet, especially when it comes to sexual promiscuity, orgies, whatever you want to call it. And Todd was right there along with her. But in the end, in public, the person that's going to look the worst, unfortunately, is.
I actually don't think that she's going to settle. I think they're actually going to win. I don't think she's going to settle. I don't think this woman knows Kandi at all. Kandi is tough. Kandi is a pretty tough cookie. She's not going to settle. Okay? If he gets any money, it's because he actually won fair and square. Kandi is so much tougher than people give her credit for. She's not going to settle.
It's going to be Kandi. And Kandi not going to want to play tit for tat with Todd. She's not going to want to do that. She's going to have to settle, and she's going to be paying him child support.
That's not true. That is not true. That is not true. Kandi knows how to fight back. Kandi knows how to fight back. She knows how to fight. That woman is very assertive. She knows how to stand up for herself. So no, I don't think she's going to settle. But I do think he will win fair and square. I think he will win, well, not fair and square, but through subterfuge. I think he will win through subterfuge.
For those children, and he's also going to get some type of lump sum money, because Randy Kessler would not have taken the case if he did not believe that Todd was going to be owed some money, because that prenup, in a lot of ways, Kandi kind of violated her own prenup prior to. She done told the person, you're going to work in my business, you're going to fix up my house, you're going to do all this kind of, you're going to quit your job, you're going to sell your condo, all this other kind of stuff. Then when you leave, you don't get nothing. Girl, you're going to look horrible, Kandi. You're going to look horrible. If the roles reversed and this was a man trying to do this to a woman, as women, we would be outraged. We would be outraged, completely outraged. So that's what I think, y'all. That's what I think. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.
Be outraged. But that's still me being fair to men. That is still me being fair to men more than they would ever do for us, right? But she never did that to him. She never did that to him. And I don't understand how she could have missed all of that.
Girl, you're going to look horrible, Kandi.
But this is, okay, the lesson to be learned here is that she is a woman who is capable of doing everything on her own, and she did not need a man, but she was brainwashed to think that she needed a man. And this is because, and the reason those series of steps even happened, that she was brainwashed and then she got a man, was because the males are parasites to begin with. A human being cannot brainwash you like this. These are the consequences of having a parasite in your species. Women are going to fall prey to them no matter what. This woman right here, that is what that you're talking about. If you don't know anything about this couple that we're talking about here, it is this video here, right the one I just clicked on. That is the woman that they're talking about. And it is also the same woman. That's the same woman. That is the same one. Same woman, right? That's the woman that we're talking about. And that is her husband right there. The one with the beard. Yeah. This woman, she is a powerhouse. Right? She is a powerhouse, which means that she never needed a man. She could have gotten kids. She could have just gotten a spur to what? To get her kids, to get more kids. She never needed a man. She could have hired managers business managers to get her to the next level. She never needed a husband, but she was brainwashed to think that she did. She was brainwashed to think that she did, which means that you are going to fall prey intentionally to them or unintentionally to them, but you are going to fall prey. This should have been the diary, the meanderings. This should have been titled "The Meanderings of a brainless, brainwashed pygmy woman." That's what the title of this should have been. Nonsense, bunch of nonsense and nothing else.